What's going on, guys? How are we doing? Back at it again for another video today. So today's video is more centered around GAC stuff and team comps, what I found to be kind of helpful, what's kind of sucked pretty big time for defenses at least, and some offenses. The reason I was wanting to do this is for one, I haven't done one of these in quite a while for 5v5. And two, I was watching a few days ago Calvin Awesome's GAC. He does like recap videos, and I've been kind of out of the loop for like some of the higher end stuff. So kind of to show you my ranking right now is it's not where it should be. I feel like personally I should be a little bit higher than the 3800. I'm still in Kyber 1, but I'm not the top tippity top part of this this league, Kyber 1. And I would say Calvin's a little bit higher, and he knows kind of what's up. And I actually enjoy watching some of his videos and others that do the higher end GAC stuff. It kind of helps me kind of put together in my mind what works the best. And one thing that I've been seeing, and what Calvin also mentioned in his video, the reason that I kind of wanted to make this video even that much more so is for datacrons. Like there's some ridiculous datacrons out there, guys. Like for example, there's the JML one, right? With the extra, you can get the TM up. You can get the extra damage. You can get riposte on the specials. This one right here. So this is a scary one, and you get these new datacrons that go with GLs that you don't tend to see often on defenses, and JML is one of those. Other ones I've seen lately, I've been seeing a crap ton of Lord Vaders as per usual, and also Rays. JMK as well with his level 9 datacron with the stuns and the extra ult charge and damage, going underneath protection, all that sort of stuff. So I've been seeing a lot more. One that is definitely more noticeable these days is JML on defense. So today's video is centered around what is a good strategy for GAC, in terms of like if you find an opponent, if you see his history, what he likes to set. Based off of that, we'll talk about that a little bit. But most importantly, we're going to be talking about some new defenses. Not new defenses, but just defenses that have been pretty good for me lately. So this round I kind of gave up because, well, this last round, this round 1, I kind of gave up because I just shit the bed, honestly, in my attacks. I could not kill this Lord Vader. I tried everything. I tried that new Beskar Mano datacron. I tried literally every single team. And I feel like there's a better way to go about it. So I'm trying to change it up. And what I feel like is more consistent based upon what I've found people doing themselves in higher end Kyber. And what I've found with some tests, I go back and forth, but what I've found to be better is to kind of front load right now. What front loading means, and this is what Calvin was mentioning in one of his videos, is pretty much just setting those GLs in the front walls. That's really the basis and the basic way to say it and to put it. So like I had this wacky ass Ray team here with the level 9 datacron. That one gives out some more damage per each I think it's ally that's alive. And this team, pretty much this Ray team, allows for more people to survive. There's more Jedis for Jolie to revive, armor for the tech and the Beskar rather. It's not too bad. It actually gets me quite a bit of holds, as opposed to like the resistance one. It's not too bad. Anyways, I was gonna say though, front loading is an important thing because you get those people that have the datacrons like we all do right now, but they like to set more of those GLs. Like they like to set the Lord Vader with the Hellsteel crap. They like to set the Ray like I'm doing with that level 9, but they also like to set the other GLs that have their own datacrons like JMK and JML. So I'm more focused on this strategy that's reliant upon the opponent setting 3 GLs, like the Lord Vader Ray plus the extra JMK or perhaps the JML. So if that's the case, and you know that you're going to be setting your own JML or whatever, like your own GLs, I would say front load this front wall right here that blocks the more character territories in the back. So the bottom front one. So set at least 2, I'd say, and set some other stuff that's pretty good. I might still change my dash to a different team in the front wall, but I find this to work the best against those opponents that have those datacrons that are really good. And I know that they will set them based upon their past history, okay? I even might change my Malgus over to that wall. Malgus is another good team. The part, though, of the video I'm going to kind of now go on to, I feel like I've kind of mentioned the front-loading part enough. I've tried to hit it on pretty heavily so far to make sure that you guys think about that a bit more in your GAC strategy. That's for characters. kind of front loading them most times. I'd say it works the best. And even same thing for fleet. You know, you have all these fleet counters. Fleet's a different story, right? But I set some of this and it still works out pretty well. I like to make sure I one-shot everything and without any issues and getting the maximum banners, right? But for now, let's go off that topic of front loading and just onto what works best for my defenses as of late, right? Not so much offenses. I just want to go and hit up my defenses. So of course, GLs, I always set at least 2. For 5v5, I like to set 2, sometimes more. But honestly, I just like the 2 and the 4. So 4 for offense. That way I get max banners. I can still make sure I full clear. Sometimes I can if I just crap the bed against Lord Vaders. I seriously have the hardest time as of late against Lord Vaders that have the Thrawn and Maul combo with this level 3, and then also with all that Hellsteel. I have the hardest time with those right now. For some reason, I don't know why, I just do. Anyways, these are the best 2 GLs for right now, in my opinion, with the defenses. JML could be up there, but these are the most tried and true. They just work the best. It might change because these Datacrons, these 2 level 9s are going to go away pretty soon. Next month they will. So things might change. But for right now, I would say 2 GLs are pretty good. That might change as time goes on. But I love some of these other teams, okay? So this one might change for gas. This is more dependent upon the level 6 Datacron. This is the one that stuns on specials. It shuts down to some of those CLSs and some of those more traditional counters. Dash is good, and I'll talk about this a lot in this video, is this level 3 Datacron is the light side allies gain extra 25% turn meter. This is great for dash teams that are pretty fast, but they need to be even that much more fast and get the train going. So dash is a great candidate for that. Going in my back wall for teams I find to be very, very good with that Datacron. Let's start off with JTR. So you don't have to do this. I do this because I do my split with the Ray Jedi with my armor. So that way I still have a JTR team with some bros and some other guys that are okay as well. This is the same Datacron with the extra TM gain, more potency and damage. This one can get some pretty nice holds. If you don't like it on defense, you can keep it for offense and kill something pretty good as well. One of my more favorite, though, with that Datacron is this guy right here. The same 25% TM, more damage through the wall, but using the Queel IG-11 combo under a Jango Fett Boba Fett team. This one I feel like just works wonders for me. This actually gets quite a bit of holds. If you are able to slot in Beskar Mando, then I would say swap him in for Boba Fett if you're able to. Right now I like using my Beskar Mando with his level 9 Datacron to kill some of those Lord Vaders and other such teams. But if you don't have that Datacron, then I'd say slap him on defense like right here. Another thing is if you have your Mon Mothma with high enough relics, she has some great Datacrons as well, and the same one I recommend is that TM gain one as well on the first level 3. Okay, Mon Mothma is pretty good though. All that TM gain, right? It's awesome. Over here, we're going to go kind of more about some dark side teams. Again, I just like setting Iden. It's just a nice, easy peasy team. If you have her with relics, it works even better. I still find a lot of people try this Wampa stuff out, so I just toss in the TFP for that extra tenacity down. It sometimes works. That team is a bit iffy, so I would say for that one, the extra whatever team here in this wall, you can kind of do whatever you want with it. One team, though, that is definitely a good team right now is Malgus. This Malgus team always gets either crazy drop of banners on it or it gets a hold. It's neither like gonna get clean swept. No. It's either gonna get massive banner loss or it's gonna get a hold. And this Datacron level 9, it gives him the reduce, or not reduce, it rather resets his cooldowns, which is pretty dang nice, and it has a lot more armor here. This one's definitely really good. Anything I might change about this modding wise is maybe making my guys a bit more faster and more tanky. But for most of this use, I feel like it does its job. Another team I love a lot is still this Qui-Gon Jinn team. But again, this might change, and these teams might change that are using this level 3 when it goes away. They might change when they go away. But I just love these teams with this 25% TM. I just like them a lot. It just is easier for either offenses or defenses. Defenses especially. I love this team a lot. This one tends to get a little bit more holding as well. And then the last one I have here, this one, again, these guys, they can change depending on like what you have for Datacrons and whatnot, but I love these ones so far. This one does not have that because they're not light side, but it's this Phasma team here. So it's Phasma with FOTP's Omicron, And then there's also Red, Hux, and also my crew. So this one's good because I like to use my SLKR with my Night Sisters on offense. So I like to have a separate team here with just Hux. I wish that Phasma's Omicron worked here in the GAC, but it doesn't. So I have to use the kind of pseudo FOTP one that works similarly to hers. It still does a good job, but I feel like the one in TW is a lot better. Another thing I might recommend here, if you don't want to use her on defense, is using her on offense to maybe kill some Star Killers. But in my whole strategy, I use my BB-8 with my Grievous to kill all the Star Killers, so it works out pretty well for me there. And of course, for fleets or fleets, like I mentioned earlier, biggest thing to mention is just Executor. I like to set this one with IG2K starter because it kind of goes away from them using the first order, and it kind of forces them to use their good rebels and whatnot. It can get some nice holds. It actually gets me more holds than the typical with the Houndstooth starter. But that's that. Other teams I'm going to mention though that are pretty good that I've had a struggle against. Let me just go over this guy I was just fighting. Besides GLs, what have been proven to be pretty tricky teams? Of course, the ones with Iden having TFP. Sometimes the cam ones can be pretty tricky here, but this really is only tricky if they have the extra TM. If they don't have the TM, then I feel like it's really easy. Of course, Malgus, like I mentioned earlier. Other tricky ones can be like just those Datacrons ones, guys. The ones that have those TM boosts, the ones that just make them crazy fast. Besides that, I don't really feel like there's anything that's just like crazy hard right now to beat besides the GLs and Malgus. JML though is definitely getting up there in terms of people setting him a lot more often. What else? Star Killers are still up there in my opinion, but there's a lot of counters to him in 5v5 to the point where I don't feel like there's a big enough reason to have to set him every single time. I actually like to keep mine for offense to kill some of those Rays right now. I'm trying to think. Radis is a pretty good one right now. I've had some issues with Radis. It's a pretty long battle, but it does get the job done in terms of what I use to counter it. But that one can be tricky at times. Other ones I feel like that are worth mentioning. Let's see. I just feel like those Datacrons right now, that's the biggest thing. If you have like those JTRs, heck, even like some of those Bad Batches, another good team on defense right now, or even offense, is the Bad Batch with Shock T lead, no Omega, using that 25% TM Datacron, and that is a disgusting team off the bat. That is a scary team. They get those stuns off. They get a TM off of all that extra debuffs that the extra buffs they get rid of. It's a good team. That's a very strong one right now, I'd say. Bounty Hunters are pretty good too, but I feel like they're more for offenses. Defensively, I feel like the ones I've already mentioned are probably the top dogs right now, and you can always go and mix and match them and, you know, add your own flavor of whatever you want for characters, whether they're light side or dark side. But in my opinion, right now what's pretty important is those Datacrons. So whatever character utilizes them the best, I'd say go for that. And that, again, that might change because some of these go away soon. The ones that do go away soon that's worth mentioning are the first set that we got, which are these Inquisitorius ones, and that's the next month. So in like 2 weeks they go away. These ones will still stay for another extra month, so these are pretty good to like recommend. These other ones though, I also recommend them, but just not for a whole lot longer. I really hate the extra reduce the cooldowns for Darkseid here, and the extra stuns for the Galactic Republic. Those are annoying, so I'm glad those are going away. Other ones for Datacrons that are good right now, I kind of mentioned it in my other video, but is the ones that have armor. So like, for example, this Malgus one has, I think, like 150% armor around that. Ridiculous, guys. It is crazy hard to kill a team like that, especially if they are doing some big damage. And like those attackers benefit quite a bit from the extra armor. Armor's big right now. The extra offense on some of these Datacron level 9s and 6s are big. But besides that, for Datacrons, I just stick with some of these Enduring Codexes right here that have the TM, and some of those for the Resistance, or rather for the Rebels and the Jedi. But that's it. I might be doing a video here soon that kind of goes over Malgus counters, because that is one of the issues I've had is Malgus counters besides the GL ones. But if there's any other counters that you guys are having a hard time with in terms of GAC ones, let me know down below in the comments. That's about it for today, though, guys. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a like, share it around, and comment down below. That's it, though. I'll see you guys all later, all right? Peace out. Bye.